The Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee. Today I ask the question, what is your state of being? I didn't ask who you are. I asked, what is your state of being? Your state of being is an energy that you put out. And one of the things that I've come to understand is that love is a state of being. Love is a state of mind, a state of feeling. It's when your heart is incoherent with your mind, and they're coherent with the expression of a greater and greater and greater expression of life. And there's 3 steps to this state of being. First, you got to know who you are. You got to know, first off, that you're infinite, that you're a part of the infinite. You were created out of the infinite. The infinite consciously chose you uniquely to be you, and that all of the wisdom of the universe is available to you, and the power to create your life is available to you. So you got to know that about yourself. And if you know that about yourself, then you've got to what? You've got to believe in yourself. You got to believe that your uniqueness is enough. You've got to believe that there's a power in you. You've got to believe that you're worthy. That's a really big one, gang. Most people do not believe they're worthy. Here's what they do believe. They believe in their own limitations. And when you believe in your own limitations as deeply as people do, guess what? You're going to get those limitations. There's no ifs, ands about it, buts about it. Here's the other thing. You want to be in a state? You got to trust. You got to know who you are. You got to know that that's enough. You got to know that there's a law of cause and effect. You got to know that the power is in you. You've got to trust it. You've got to go through the process of building a belief with a trust, knowing that as you build that belief, it will demonstrate in your life. Do you trust yourself as a creator? Good question, isn't it? Do you really trust yourself? Or what are you holding back on? I ask myself that question all the time. And I find I am holding back. And I have to go in. I have to reevaluate. Who am I? I've got to know there's a belief in me that trusts me, that knows who I am. You got to know that everything you need is within you. You've got to know that you don't need anyone else's opinions for your own self-worth, but rather your opinion of yourself is where your self-worth comes from. We've got to learn to stop seeking things from the outside. So when I talk about what is your state of being, what is your state of being in you? Not where have you placed your focus outside of you. It's when we place our focus outside of us that we screw ourselves up. What's happening outside of us and how we perceive it, that's a state of our being. Corey's got his affirmation out there. I'm confident, wholesome, creative, healthy, wealthy, and fulfilled. One of my favorite words in any affirmation is fulfilled. Too often we go, I want to be happy. That's okay to be happy, but you're not going to be happy all the time because there's always going to be contrast. That's the opioid of the masses, that you can be happy all the time. But the truth about the infinite, it's always fulfilled. It's always in balance. Always. Can you live in a state of balance? Can you live as the observer? Can you live without attachment to what others do? Or is the attachment to how others do affecting you? Keep in mind, what people do will always be in alignment with their highest values. What they value most, not what you value most. In my values workshop, which I'm doing a week from today, and that's one of the best things I do. If you've not done values with me, this is the time to sign up for that. My values workshop, I teach you can only trust someone to live to their highest values. What they most value most is what they'll live up to. And you may not like it because what they value may be unconscious and it's different than what you want them to value. And you can't change them. And a lot of people think that people need to change for them. In reality, no, they don't. Not in the least. So today, I'm giving you some great opportunities to plug in. At 10 a.m. Central Time, a little less than 2 hours from now, we're going to do an online healing. We have 3 people. Be a part of it because when you give, you receive. I'll guide you through it. Don't be afraid. And then at 1:30 Central Time, I've got a workshop today for you, and this one's free, and it's on forgiveness. Sandy says, I have trouble with flashbacks. Starts in my physical body. Well, what that simply says to me, Sandy, and you know this as well, is that somehow you have hardwired certain events in your life. And the question is, when you're saying trouble with flashbacks, that tells me that it's not peaceful. And what I would say to that is because we haven't found the balance in life yet around that event, around that experience, or around that person. So the work is, how do I see the balance? So it probably was a negative thing. So I would probably ask the question then, what good came out of it? What perceived good came out of it? What future good will come out of it? And you just keep answering that question and you stack it, stack it until the good that you perceive in a flashback that you perceive as bad matches. They're in vibrational equilibrium. And then the flashback won't have the emotional charge. Flashbacks are not a problem. Flashbacks are not a problem. It's the attachment to them and the emotions we've attached to them that causes our discomfort. I have flashbacks all the time, but I've neutralized them. When they come up and I feel an emotional charge, I do the work to neutralize them. Otherwise, they own me. Well, that's what I got for you this morning. What is your state of being? Do you know who you are? Do you believe in yourself? Do you trust yourself? Are you really worthy? Are you really worthy of your greatest life? I'll tell you, even though it means nothing, I believe you are. What you have to do is you've got to believe it. That's the power. With that, my beautiful ones, make it a great day. Aloha.